Hi, I'm Amy from Jade Equestrian, and we are back with Ride of the Week this week, and we have Kelly Melville. Hello, Kelly.
Hi, how are you, Amy?
I'm good, thanks, and you?
Good, thank you.
Tell me who we have here.
We have Lacana Renoir here with us today. So he is by Consuelo out of a Conti WS mother, and I've pretty much had him ever since he was, let me just think now, ever since you were 4 or 5. I can't remember.
Okay, and how old is he now?
He's rising 9-year-old.
Okay, okay. Yeah. He's got a kind eye, hey?
Yeah, no, he's very, very sweet, very
hungry,
laid back, yeah, very soft. We don't feed them here,
as you can see.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but we've been through a lot already. I mean, I pretty much got him as he was my second junior horse, so it was quite a big step going from ponies to a very big warm blood, and then to a Namibian warm blood of all warm bloods. But he's been just the sweetest, kindest partner that I could have asked for.
Kels, tell me how you got into riding and like your journey with riding.
To be honest, nobody really knows how I got into riding.
I feel like that's with everybody. You know, nobody actually really knows.
I didn't come from a horsey family at all. Nobody rides really except my one aunt, but I never really spent any time with her. And it was kind of like whenever my nana gave me my first little toy horse, I was besotted. And watching the Spirit movies and all of that type of stuff, I just got worse and worse. And eventually my mom was convinced to take me to a riding school, and then the bug. So pretty much since I was around about 2 years old. Then we moved from Joburg to PE, and then I went and I started to become a little bit more competitive. So like in grade 5, Brandon Bannett Caraway, who now little Aaron Ray Radcliffe is leasing, he was my first competitive pony. So kind of I had him since grade 4, so the year before, and then we started competing in grade 5.
Okay, amazing. What are you doing now? Because you finished school now you're into the big bad world, now you're an adult.
Yeah, so I'm pretty much doing the Kwasa modules online so that I can teach and also just obviously know a lot more about my horse, because you learn so much about their physiology and about their behavior and trucking and all of that type of stuff. My main thing is to want to teach, and I'm very grateful to Jade Jade Walsh, I keep calling her Hook, for giving me the opportunity to start teaching at her riding school. So, yeah.
Awesome. So are you teaching little kiddies, or have you got quite a wide range?
Well, I teach all levels. So if it is a lead rein kid, that's not a problem. But if it is more intermediate and like, you know, cantering, jumping, I'm not going to lie, I do prefer the more advanced, because you can do a lot more.
For sure.
But the kiddies are always fun, because you're pretty much tracking their every journey, you're working with them emotionally,
you grow with them.
Yes, you grow with them, and if they're having a tough day, you speak to them, and even if they're shy, you try and get them to come across and say to you, look, I'm not happy. My main motto is, I'm here to teach you, not to scare you. So I want to have a relationship with you that you can talk to me, please don't feel scared. And if you do cry in a lesson, we're going to deal with it. Then I'm going to talk to you afterwards, and we're going to try and put the pieces together and say, look, this is the game plan.
For sure. And put the puzzle together.
I don't want somebody to go home crying.
For sure. And that's not what riding's about. Riding's about fun.
Exactly. And if there's no fun in it, then why are you doing it?
Exactly. And I think also that's where the riding school thing's also important.
Many times it's about the fun. Don't put so much pressure on yourself. And I think that's why teaching for me is such a great outlet, because I can take an anxious child and say, look, I understand, I've done it myself, and I get it, and I'm here to help you, not here to make you
terrified.
Boogie
sure. That's awesome. I love that. I like that motto. Well done for coming up with it. I like it.
Thank you.
I'm stealing it.
No, you can't.
Tell me a little bit about your horses that you have.
Okay, so
like your progress with them, like what height you're jumping, how long you've had them for.
Okay, so well, we've just introduced
we've spoken about Renoir, but I know he's not your only ride.
Yes, so I also own Lacana Makalani, who is by Lacana Challenger out of a clay mother. Somehow all of my horses are related. I don't know how I get it right. My ponies were all related. My horses are all related. And then I also have Black Chrome, who is a thoroughbred by Black Minnalooshe out of Silver Cord. So if you look up Silver Cord,
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
What heights are you jumping Mac?
I'm jumping Mac in the 110s really well, and we're really hoping to go up to 120. Up to 120 soon, and then Chrome I'm also jumping her in the 110s. Hopefully to go up to the 120 soon, but obviously I want to do one at a time. So I think Mac's going to go up first, and then we'll see how everything goes, see how I cope with all of it, and then we'll go up with Chrome. And then I also have a very, very, very cute young horse. Is Capital Hyacinth, aka Pudding.
That is very cute.
Yeah, I kind of came up with the name. Everybody asked me, how did you get Pudding? And I just said, if you look at it, she's a pudding pony. And also, at the end of the day, a pudding can be really good. It can be tasty, it can be perfect. She's very spunky, very full of personality, but so willing and loving. She's only just 15.1. The others are above 16 hands. So she's a pony compared to the rest.
Yeah, well that's awesome. You've got quite a wide range of rides.
Yeah, and it's fun because even though the warm bloods are quite similar, like Renoir's are totally different. He's a very passive warm blood, Mac's a little bit hotter, and then Pudding kind of just, I know.
It's just in between and just fits in.
She's kind of like, she's very quick on her legs, and she kind of just wants to go, whereas Chrome is like, she's got the engine on all the time, and it's very, thoroughbredy, a little bit lighter, and not as, I could say, galumphy as sometimes as the warm.
So you've got an awesome string of horses, and you're just enjoying yourself.
Very blessed to have the amount of horses and just the quality of horses that I do have, and just be able to compete and all of that type of stuff.
Kelly, so you've had your ups and downs.
Big time, yes.
Everybody has their ups and downs. What advice can you give people that are going through a tough time with their riding, and like just some advice to like how to get back up onto your 2 feet and just to keep going and not give up?
It is just the thing, it's never give up. I know that it becomes hard and you just think, I can't do this anymore, and I've been there many times. I've been on the floor.
I think a lot of us have.
I've been on the floor, I've been crying, but one thing that I have never thought about is giving up, and I think it's kind of almost an inbuilt thing in your head. Like as I say, every question's almost like just very, very doof when it comes to sort of their own safety. And they've got like that little tick in their brain that says, no, it's not the horse's fault, it's my fault. Like when you're a young little rider, you kind of know that they're going to ride, or you're going to ride when you say, no, I'm going to get back on. Or if you've broken something and you get back on after, let's say, 6 weeks, and you're not afraid of that horse and you still have the same trust, it's something different. And I know a lot of people sometimes maybe don't have that, but my thing is to, if you have had the biggest confidence knock, go down. Even if you're jumping, you once jumped 135, go back to 60 centimeters.
There's nothing wrong with going down a grade or down a few grades. As long as you, like you said earlier, your main thing is to have fun.
If you're completely petrified, even if you just go do dressage and go do outrides and just have fun.
And whatever makes you happy.
Exactly, and maybe come back into it, but it's not pressure. And I've learned that the hard way. And I think that the best thing to do is to kind of just
be okay with yourself.
Be okay with yourself, and start by little steps, like going on outrides, or just, I don't know, the field and graze with them a bit. 100%.
Yeah.
Like even with Renoir, I mean, we were jumping, for example, now we were jumping in the 120s, and I just had a massive confidence wobble, and I've decided, instead of breaking my confidence and just like ruining it on everybody else, let's go down. So I've gone down to a meter, and I'm actually not scum or shy to say it, because you know what, my coach Diane actually posted this morning something that I really found very profound and very heartfelt and like is the right thing about confidence. Like, we have confidence, we are there at a level, and yes, okay, we've trained, but we don't understand how fragile confidence is.
For sure.
And we can lose it in a split second, and doesn't matter how hard we've worked, we're gonna have to rebuild that confidence that we've taken years to build.
And it can be knocked in like a split second.
Yeah, definitely.
So like you said earlier, like I'm putting all your little words together. So to have fun, grow your confidence, and don't care what anybody thinks about what you're doing for you.
No, exactly.
As long as you're having fun and you're happy, that's all that matters. What are your goals for the up and coming? Okay, I know the year's finished, so
Yes.
but like the up and coming year, so into next year or the next few years.
Okay, well, I pretty much want to get my modules, so like my level 1, my level 2, and then see where that goes for my training, and just be able to build myself up in that way. And then also just to have, as I was talking about earlier, to just have fun with my horses. I'd like to go up to 120 on Mac, and then pretty much see how that evolves. So as the whole journey evolves, I would like to go all the way up, but it just depends on how everything plays out.
Yeah. Okay, Carl, so a very different question. What is the first thing you ever pack into your box or your suitcase going away for a horse show?
Well, my personal thing is, if it's my wardrobe, it's getting all of the show outfits ready, because you've always got to have...
Horse, do you pre-plan your outfits for each day?
Yes.
Okay.
For every show.
I love that.
Every day, every show, got to have the right jacket that works with all of my namna. So my horses also have their own wardrobe. Every horse must wear a different namna every single day.
Okay.
When it comes to color coordination, I really like that. So my things, I would think, okay, well, what do I really want to wear at the show? And then I think, okay, well, maybe navy, black, and then maybe a sparkle of color. And if that kind of goes with the undertones of my horse's wardrobe, then I will wear that. And obviously my helmet is very important as well. And then I kind of think about the casual clothes, because I'm not really too worried about that.
Yeah. What is the first thing you have to pack? Or that you like mentally go, I cannot forget that. That is what I need to pack in the box first.
Okay, the first thing is normally their tack. Every single bit of tack, boots, saddle, namnas, ear veils, bridle, just you name it, because the simplest things is what you will forget.
Yeah.
And then definitely going to the medicine kit.
Good one.
Yeah, that is making sure that you have your kind of vaccines that if you need for the horses, like when I travel, or I always give them a what's it called? Travel sickness vaccine, just so that they don't, because he's had really bad travel sickness once and before, so I just don't take a chance.
your pre-travel stuff.
Yes, pre-travel stuff, just to make sure that they're fine, and then obviously having the magnetic boots ready. That's all like stuff at the stable. And then obviously everything for their legs. So I always have my blue steel cold water boots with me. They go everywhere with me. Good, because
that was a question that was coming up later, but you've added it in now.
Yeah. Every time I ride my horse to get the your cold water boots. And then also I would think, depending on the season, and the province you're going to, you've got to make sure that you've got enough blankets for your horses, depending.
For sure. So if it's really hot and there's lots of flies, then always a fly sheet. If it's really cold, also, fleeces.
Yes, and also your fly spray, especially if you're going into, even if it's a non-AHS like Cape Town, I know that it's a AHS free zone, but I never take a chance. I always travel with a fly spray that has DEET in it.
Okay, Carl, so I remember when you came with ponies and onto horses, you had a bit of a rough patch. What advice can you give to people coming off ponies and onto horses?
My thing would be evaluate everything, because selling ponies it's
not an easy thing.
It's one of the most soul crashing things. I'm sorry, kids that are watching this, but it is one of the most soul crushing emotionally.
It is. I cried for a week when I saw my pony.
Heart-wrenching. I still cry to this day.
So, what advice can you give people?
Oh, yeah.
Try let go.
Yeah, no, don't try let go. If the pony has to, let's say, move to a different province, then I would say it's almost a bit easier.
Kels, what advice can you give people moving from ponies to horses?
Okay, so I think it's a very exciting but almost ominous thing to go into juniors.
Yeah.
It's the unknown and everybody's scared of change. But my one thing is that try and evaluate everything from the beginning, almost as if you've kind of tried to put everything behind you. And
you're starting fresh.
Yes, so look forward and think of this as a new start. As ever hard as it may be, make sure that you make the right calls for yourself and not for anybody else other than yourself.
Very, very accurate. I like that.
Thank you.
Favorite Blue Steel product?
Definitely your cold water boots. They're a winner.
Oh, they're such awesome products.
Yeah, they are. They're the best buy I've ever had.
Cool. Well, I'm really glad to hear that. Thank you so much, Kels, for taking the time to chat with us. It's been awesome having you and getting to know you as in rider and your horses a lot better. And yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah, it's been fun. Thank you so much for having me and for putting up with my child that wasn't that was crazy away.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. It's been awesome. And don't forget that you can get your awesome cold water boots and all the other Blue Steel products.
And the girths. The girths are amazing.
There we go.
Every single one of my horses has one of the Blue Steel girths.
You can get those at www.blue-steel.co.za or in our retail store in PE. Also follow us on Instagram and Facebook and our YouTube channel.
Yes, please. Subscribe to both. I am Amy and also Blue Steel Equestrian.
This girl knows it. I love it. So go over and do all of those things and we'll see you guys next time.